My story begins in the south of the country. When I was in high school, I had a very special friend whom I nicknamed Panquecito. The reason for the nickname was because, just like a pancake, he was really sweet and soft-hearted. He was someone who, honestly, never bothered anyone. To a certain extent, he was my favorite friend in high school. He was the kind of person who, even though he didn't do anything, never bothered anyone. They were always messing with him, doing mean things like hiding his backpack, putting soap in it, and all sorts of stuff. By that time, I started acting tough, getting into fights and making out with girls and guys. Like me, he was never afraid or anything. I was just starting to realize that I was going to belong to the Mexican army and that my future would be as an infantryman in the army. I always had a really good relationship with this person, and even though he never told me or even tried, I knew he liked me. I always knew it, although he once tried to tell me when I was enlisted because he was the one who went with me to the battalion and helped me enlist. Although, in a way, I didn't know it would be the last time I would see him. That same day, I did my part, signed the contract to enlist, started putting everything together to survive basic training and all the crap that comes with that stuff. I survived the 5 months of chaos, which is the basic training of the Mexican army, and for the first time, I got my leave. When I got out, I went home. Even though I don't really have much family or friends, I just enjoyed the 6 days sleeping and relaxing. But one day I tried to look for Panquecito. I went to his house and knocked. His mother came out, and she just told me that a few days after I was discharged and he had accompanied me, he disappeared. No one heard anything about him. For my part, in a way, that left a mark on me. The time I saw him, I didn't even ask him to tell me how he felt. In a way, he left a mark on me. 2 years later, during an operation, something that supposedly never has anything new, not even anything interesting. More than just people cursing and bystanders. One day, everything exploded. Some trucks blew through the checkpoint we had set up, and the chaos of the chase began. These people were shooting at us. Bullets were flying and hitting quickly. We got to a dirt road, and then 2 out of the 5 bad guys' trucks lost control. One went straight off the cliff and didn't make it. The other crashed into a pile of sand, and the gun rolled loose next to the truck and flipped almost 12 tire tracks from the truck, which was already on fire. And it was the first time I had shots that close. I was scared. It was something. But my companion's words fired me up and made me hold on. They shouted at me, "Be brave, have guts, shoot at them."
You son of a bitch, why do you bring the piece if you don't use it? Shoot at them, they're going to kill us.
Did I have the piece and Fabrique Nationale mag? Or for the crew, a Minimi 7.62. Honestly, I don't have much to say about what it does. At such a short distance, about 30 meters approximately. I took out 4 of the 12 guys, the rest were taken out by my buddies. After the last shot, everything was a very tense calm, and just like the manual says, we started checking the bodies while others secured the area. I got 2 bodies. One was a kid, I swear. He didn't look older than about 11 years old, and the other one was farther away, hidden by some bushes. He was crawling. He wasn't really that stiff. I got there and turned him over, and honestly, I even took off my helmet to see if I was really seeing what I was looking at. It was my friend, my high school classmate. Panquecito was there with part of his lung exposed from the bullet that I myself had shot him with moments before. Now he was there, looking at me from the floor. He reached his hand out to me. In those moments, he wasn't an enemy. He was my friend, asking me for the help he always needed from me. At that moment, I knelt down and tried to lift him up to help him, but the sergeant fell. This sergeant was one of those guys to whom compassion and friendship are just things you talk about, and he asked, "What do you eat that with?" When he had just arrived,
he said to me, "Let's see, mija, what do you have there? Why are you helping that thug? Just get rid of him already, or let me handle it. I'll take care of him."
I froze for a moment, and my friend was starting to tremble from fear and cold. He was clinging to my chest and my back, wanting my help, and for me to take him to get medical attention to heal him.
I tried to explain to him, "Sergeant, he's my friend from high school. He's not a bad person.
He just wants help. Let me take him to the medical unit."
He didn't really let me finish the sentence when the sergeant cut me off.
And what, do you think you're the Virgin Mary? To heal him and take pity on him? He chose to be a thug. Now for your daughter, you're going to take him out and send him to report to St. Peter.
So I heard my friend's last words.
I was taken by force. They recruited me against my will when I went with you to enlist. I came back, and the truck I was in was blocked by some vans, and me and another person were taken to a camp and forced to join. I didn't want to do this.
The sergeant, not even then, showed any mercy.
And that, why should I care? To me, you're just a thug, and that's not up for discussion. And you look, Chamaka, either you take him out, or right now you'll see how that ravine makes him join his friends. At the bottom.
I was completely broken. My high school friend, and the man who had probably loved me the most up to that point. Now he was trembling with fear, holding himself tightly because of how scared he was, and he was asking for my help to get back home. He called me by my name and said, "Please.
Don't let me go. I want to go back to my mom. I want to go home."
I loved him, to be honest. I wanted to take him to the Rapida and help him, but I was only about 176 tall. Against a sergeant with muscles honed for war and with a lot of experience. Against me, just a young woman of 20 years old against a man with a ton of muscles, almost 40 years old. I had my friend on my back and he took him away from me. While I was carrying him, he sat him down on the ground, and his order was very clear. Let's see.
Damn you. Either you take him out, or like I told you, you're going to see how we throw him to the bottom of the ravine to keep his thug friends company. Now take it, hold it, and make some holes in it. Go on. Nothing's going to happen to you.
My friend was there, powerless. I felt his fear in his eyes. I couldn't even understand why the people who were supposed to help him were going to make me hurt him and insult him, hurt him and spit on him. He didn't understand why we weren't helping him. He called my name again and asked me for help once more.
Please help me. I want to go home. Don't let them do anything to me.
And the sergeant finally got tired and started choking me.
Are you getting on my nerves? Or should we do something to snap you out of it? We'll fill him with holes ourselves.
I always relive this. Every time I remember or every time I feel the weight of the G3, my breath stopping, my eyes filling with tears, and the sensation of burning inside for doing something that was wrong but I was forced to do. It's something that even today when I dream about it or remember it, makes me jump out of bed. And he told me his last words. I felt his trust in his gaze, even when I was pointing at him. He called me by my name for the last time and said, "I love you."
Forgive me for not telling you in high school. I care about you and I love you and I forgive you for what you're going to do to me.
Those were the last words I heard from him. Then I pulled the trigger and felt the recoil. And all my comrades, along with the sergeant, started to celebrate. And I felt the sergeant kicking me in the back to snap me out of the trance I was in. The last thing was seeing my friend's comrade lying there with the second and deadly cow hole in his heart. At that moment, I broke down crying and collapsed on the floor, kneeling from the pain. That was what needed to be secured. Finish the rest of the operation and return to the barracks. Although that day, nothing would ever be the same again. The following days were nightmares. I remembered the moment when the only man who loved me more than anyone else carried me in those moments, and his pleas for help, and the last look he gave me before ending his life. To this day, I still dream and suffer from nightmares, insomnia, and the torture of remembering that more and more. But in a way, I've learned to set it aside and get used to it. Even though that's what really weighs on me, that I normalized something I did to someone who trusted me and who, in their last moments, relied on my help, that their farewell was telling me what they always hid from me, and that I never asked them to tell me. This is my story. If you also have a story you want to share, send it to my email, my inbox, or any of my social media accounts. I will read it as soon as I can. Thank you very much for watching the video. Honestly, it really helps a lot if you like, comment, or share. And if you enjoy this kind of content, you can subscribe. I really appreciate it. See you next time.